Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, The Crumbs in the Philippines. I want to thank everybody for stopping by today. You know, I spend a little bit of time each week watching videos on YouTube, and I'm absolutely drawn towards the ones that are made by Philippine vloggers as well. And the one thing that I noticed is that there are a lot of vloggers that cover the same types of topics that we do on our channel. And so, I mean, with so much content available out there, we really appreciate you spending a little bit of time and watching our videos and taking the time to like and subscribe. It means a lot to us. We really enjoy making the videos and appreciate each and every one of you that watch them. Before I get started with today's topic, I want to take a second to give a shout out to 3 of my kids who are also involved in social media and have their own creative channels. My oldest son, Julius, has a cooking channel where he actually cooks Filipino recipes, traditional, and he has it on YouTube. I'm going to put links in the description box to the 3 places where you can see where my kids are. And Julius, his channel is in Tagalog or Visaya. It might be Visaya, as his mother was a Filipino. But he has some really good recipes on there, and you might get a chuckle out of seeing what I would look like if I was a Filipino, because Julius, he definitely looks a lot like me, and there's no way I can deny that he's my son. I wish him the best in his channel. Then my second oldest son, DeMarco, he has a YouTube channel devoted to fitness. It's called Strength with Purpose. He's been doing that for quite a while. He's a certified physical trainer. And if you drop in, take a look at his videos as well, you can see that he kind of favors me as well, although he's in much better physical condition than I am. I hope that he got that love of physical conditioning from me, because as a younger person, I spent a lot of time in the gym, and I was very into the fitness stuff for the majority of my adult life. And then finally, my oldest daughter, Anna, she has a Facebook page called Anna Alexandria, and she's actually a singer. She has a beautiful singing voice, and she produces and records her own original music. And it's really good stuff. If you have a chance to drop by and just take a listen to it, and you can also see what my oldest daughter looks like as well. But I'm going to put links to those 3 channels down below, and I'd appreciate it, and they would too, if you just drop in and take a look at it. I know it'll be hard to understand Julius in Tagalog, but I'm trying to get him to do some of his videos in English as well, so that my audience and subscribers can understand what he's saying. Okay, on to today's topic. We're going to talk about the disadvantages and advantages of living in a subdivision near a fairly good-sized metro area. Okay, I'm going to get right into it and start with the disadvantages, because the way I see it, there's not really a whole lot of disadvantages, but we'll go through them, and I do have a list, so just bear with me as I use my reading glasses and use my list to keep me on topic, and we'll knock this out in a big hurry, okay? And as always, guys, again, super appreciate you joining us. Okay, the first disadvantage of living in a subdivision is if you come into it without fully reading the rules of the homeowners association, or if they make unknown changes to the rules after you move in. For example, you move in thinking that they're going to strictly enforce the no noise after 10 p.m. policy, and then after you move in, you come to find out that they've changed the rule to 1 a.m. without you knowing about it. And that happens not quite often, but it hasn't happened at all here in Plantation. But it is something to be aware of, and I would consider that a disadvantage. Make sure you read the policies very carefully before you sign any paperwork committing yourself to a homeowners association, which even if you rent in a subdivision, that owner of the house that you rent from, your landlord, is going to require you to sign a paper agreeing to abide by all the homeowner association rules and policies. So make sure you understand those. It'll save you a lot of grief. The second disadvantage of living in a subdivision is if you're unlucky enough to live in a subdivision that's poorly managed. And what I mean by that is they don't enforce the rules. You know, if they have a policy against dogs being off leash or cleaning up after your pet with poop and so on, and they don't enforce it, that can be quite a pain in the butt. Because I know a lot of people in our community here in Plantation, including Jen and myself, we enjoy getting out and walking, and it's nice to be able to walk around and not have to fear stepping in dog poop. And of course, the same would apply to any other rules like karaoke after 10 or people opening a rooster farm next to your property. These are all rules that are strictly no-nos in Plantation. And from my experience so far, they've done a pretty good job of enforcing the rules. They come around ever so often with a sheet to emphasize a certain rule. Like day before yesterday, the guards came around to stress again the importance of keeping your pet on a leash and cleaning up after your pet. And everybody in the entire subdivision had to sign the paper agreeing to abide by the rules. And it also had some pretty strict penalties for failing to follow the rules. And then the last thing that I would consider a disadvantage is if you have amenities in your subdivision, but the subdivision requires you to pay extra to use the amenities, like to use the gym, to use the swimming pool, to use the basketball court, to use the clubhouse. If they have extra charges for each one of those things, that's not really, I wouldn't consider it to be an amenity. And there are subdivisions that will charge you to use the swimming pool, to use the clubhouse. Like here in Plantation, you have to pay 150 pesos to go swimming. Now you can use the basketball court, the volleyball court, the courtyard, and those areas for free, and all of the different parks. We do have some different playgrounds and parks throughout the subdivision. Those are all free. But you can reserve the banquet hall, and that does cost money as well. But I kind of understand that one, because you have to. It would be inconvenient if you didn't have some type of a reservation system, and also to like hold people to keeping the facilities clean and in good repair. Okay, let's talk about some of the advantages of living in a subdivision, and that these are. To me, this is what makes it desirable to find yourself a nice subdivision to live in, regardless of where you're at in the Philippines. Unless you're living well out off the beaten path, you'll be able to find housing subdivisions just about on every island and every community in the Philippines. The first one is security. And we have a gated community. It's patrolled and all of the entry is controlled by our gate guards. They have at least 4 or 5 on duty at all times. At night, I think it's down to 3. But they patrol constantly. They keep an eye on your property, your cars, your house. They do a really good job. Anytime you watch a video on YouTube where people are showing you a rental property that's for rent for this amount of pesos, and one of the things they always feature in every video, and you go back and check it if you don't believe me, is they always talk about, oh, it's got bars on the windows and broken glass or razor wire up around the top of the fence for security, because security is a concern when you live out in an area where you don't have paid security. But inside a subdivision, that's taken care of for you. And the only fee that we pay is our monthly homeowners association fee that pays the guards and so on. It's worth it. And you also sleep better at night. Number two, in the Philippines, almost every subdivision has their own separate water supply system. In Plantation, we have 3 large water tanks, and we have a dedicated crew that takes care of the water treatment and the water delivery systems, which we use pumps, which guarantees us a pretty constant pressure. And we have very, very, very few water outages. And they're normally scheduled for maintenance and chlorination and water treatment, those things. And that's like once every 6 months. We might have water out for 8 hours. But they let us know plenty of time in advance for you to store up any extra water that you might need around the house. But that's a pretty convenient thing that you don't necessarily have out in town. If you rent a house that doesn't have a nice water supply like that, it might not be as reliable and convenient. Same is true about trash collection. If you live in a subdivision, your trash collection is going to be very consistent and very reliable, and also part of your homeowner association dues as well. Just like in the disadvantages, you'd also have to consider the amenities and the advantages as well. It's pretty nice to have a swimming pool, a basketball court, a gym where you can lift weights, a volleyball court, plenty of room to get out and walk on paved surfaces that are safe, and you don't have to worry about getting run over by cars, and just places for kids to play. I mean, I don't have any kids here, but there are a lot of playgrounds and a lot of wide open space for kids to get out and run around and enjoy themselves out here. Plantation and many of the other subdivisions offer this at no extra charge. I mean, it's definitely one of the bennies of living in a subdivision. Another thing that I noticed, and I didn't know this before, was after we moved into Plantation, we started to notice a trend of all of these businesses that kept opening up in the area. And it wasn't only due to Plantation being here, but there's a brand new subdivision right next door to us called Perivio. It's pretty upscale, and we're going to feature that on another video here in just a day or two. Yeah, I mean, it's a brand new place. It has a coffee shop, all the amenities. Every house in there is brand new. Right now, they only offer houses for sale, and they start at about 6 million pesos, which is, if I do the math right, 30, 40. Anyway, I'll put a box up later to give you the exact math. My brain just went blank. Pretty sad for a math teacher. But it's over, I think it's over 100,000. Yeah, pretty close. But they're nice homes, and they go up to, they have some homes in there that are, you can buy for that are 12, 13 million pesos. Very, very nice properties in there. And we'll give you a gander at that. I hope they'll let me go inside and ride around so I can video some of the specific homes in there. But if not, I'll at least get the outside. Just the landscaping on the entrance to the place is kind of jaw-dropping. It's very nice, detailed. It's beautiful. But what you notice is, and just since we moved into Plantation, 7-Eleven, Alphamart, 3 supermarkets, 5 new restaurants, they all open in your area to make it, which make life very convenient for us. But it's because more and more people, as they move into those subdivisions, make it profitable for those businesses to open up. And whenever we do the video on subdivisions, in particular subdivisions, I'll show you what I mean. You'll notice there's a lot of shops and things to do right outside of your subdivision. And the last advantage to living in a subdivision is that you have management and your homeowners association president and board of directors to handle any disputes that you might have. But I mean, like if you have an argument with your neighbor over noise, or they secretly have like 10 roosters in the backyard and it's bothering you at night, you can go to your management and your homeowners association, and they'll take care of those kind of disputes for you. If you live out in town, you're going to have to go to like the barangay chief or the barangay captain, which is it's a little bit more involved. They're going to make legal reports, and they have to report to the PNP or the Philippine National Police. And most people, just as a foreigner, I know I don't really I want to have as little involvement with the police as possible. And I mean, I've had none so far, knock on wood. And I just try to keep a low profile, follow all the rules, very respectful of the country and the culture. I've had no problems with it so far. But living in the subdivision, it's nice to have some arbiters that can take care of these things at a local level without really blowing things out of proportion. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today. And starting tomorrow, Jen and I are going to start featuring subdivisions. We'll feature 1 or 2 specific subdivisions here in the Lipa area each and every day for the next couple of weeks. That's how many subdivisions there are. And I want to keep the videos 15 minutes or less. That's why we probably won't do more than 2. We might be able to squeeze 3 into in one video. But just to do it justice and give you some example prices of what rentals and sale properties are inside each subdivision. And I'll try to show you a location on the map. Like this is Lipa, this is Plantation, where you can kind of compare and see how far these subdivisions are from the downtown area and the hospitals and the malls and all the big amenities that come with living in a fairly good-sized metro area. But as always, guys, bottom of my heart, I thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like and share these videos so we can reach a larger audience and help our little channel to grow. We're competing against a huge market out there, a lot of vloggers, and we're just a tiny little pod in a sea of, there's some really big Philippine vloggers out there. And hopefully one day we'll get up there and compete with them. And that's our goal anyway. As always, stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you tomorrow. Later.